your patience. Okay. All right. I respectfully acknowledge that I live, work, and learn on the unceded and occupied traditional territories of the Caledonia First Nation. I make this acknowledgement to remind us to teach each other about the significance of the Caledonia people's relationship to the land, and if it weren't for this land and its dispossession from the Caledonia people, we would not be here. Therefore, we are honored by the continued grace of the Caledonia to work with us to decolonize our ways of knowing and being in this place. Okay, thank you. Okay, so remember, please keep your microphones muted, and I'll do the same, and I'll pass this over to Sarah. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Excuse me. So I'm excuse me, geez. I'm going to talk to you about Moodle today. I have a few quick things we could go through, and then if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them just at the end. So you should be able to see my screen now. This is the CNC webpage, and this is how you'll get to Moodle. So if you open up the CNC webpage, which is cnc.bc.ca, and click Current Students Moodle, you'll be redirected to this page. On the main screen of Moodle, we try to have a bunch of resources for you as students and for your faculty on how to use Moodle and other helpful information that you might need. So the bullets are kind of the things we're really drawing your attention to, but when you scroll down, you'll see that there's some extra folders here. Those are our student-specific resources, and they will be step-by-step instructions on how to do things like view your grades or submit an assignment. There's not a ton in here right now, but if you check back, there will be more added. So I'm going to log in here. Normally, when you log in for the first time, you're going to click on this top right corner, and you're going to use your full CNC email address and the password you use to get onto CNC Connect. But I'm a little bit different, so I'm going to do it over here. And then once you're in Moodle, you're still going to see all those resources. It'll say welcome back and your name. And then there's a few pages I want to bring to your attention. The first one is your dashboard. Your dashboard is a place where you can go and see all your courses and dates, like quizzes that are coming up, assignments that are going to come due in one place. If we look back a month in my courses, we can see that I had a couple assignments and some quizzes. And if I was in more than one course, you'd see this information for all your courses. You do have the option to edit this page slightly if there's a different way you like to view your information to stay organized. You can click edit mode and make those changes. The next one I want to show you is you have something called private files. So if you click on the little icon here, you'll see private files. I have one document uploaded, but you can upload documents here if you're working in a computer lab or at home, and then you go to another place or work on another computer. These files will follow your Moodle account and be available wherever you log into Moodle. And then we'll look at My Courses. You'll probably use My Courses a lot. This will be a list of all the courses you have in Moodle. Make sure you're checking this list. So if you see courses you weren't expecting to see, you can let us know. It's the Center for Teaching and Learning. You can email us at ctl@cnc.bc.ca, and we'll make sure you only have the courses you need in there. And when you click into the course, you get to see all your information. So everything in the course down the middle in this section here will be things like the reading you have to do or content that's being provided, assignments, quizzes, etc. On the left side, there's this course index. So if you were looking for a specific topic, it's coming up to final exams or what have you, you can easily scroll through this course index and go to the section that you're looking to review. And the third part of the course screen is this open drawer box. Faculty can decide what they put in here, and it's the more important information, I would say, at a glance. So you have a calendar again, you might have how you're doing for attendance, there might be something about assignments coming due or the forums in there. But if you just want to see the main stuff, you can close these side panels. And I guess the other thing I'd just like to say about this is keep in mind that faculty do have some flexibility on what they can or how they use Moodle. So every course might not look the exact same. And if you do have questions about a specific course or concerns, your faculty will be your first point of contact to answer any of those questions or to explain the assignments or how to submit if they want a specific file type, things like that. And then if your faculty is not able to help you, they will come to us at the CTL to really support you in using Moodle. And yeah, that's kind of my spiel. So was there any questions for me?
Does anybody have any questions for Sarah about Moodle? I think once you start using it, it's pretty user friendly. I have a question.
Sure.
So your instructors are going to put the content on.
Yeah.
Okay, and then students, if they keep up with what's in their Moodle, then they will. It just helps you be very, very organized. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It should be all your content when things are coming due and communication between faculty to students.
And you can submit that way too, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
So when you click into assignment, some faculty might do it different, but for the most part, you click into assignment, you can click submit, upload your files, and hit submit again for grading or marking. And that's typically how faculty will provide grades and feedback back, is through Moodle.
Okay. Should we be using a Moodle app?
You can download a Moodle app onto your phone if you choose to. It's not necessary. You can also just use it in the browser.
Okay, those are good questions. Moodle has its own application. Yes. Does anybody else have any questions for Sarah today? It does look very, very straightforward.
Yeah.
And of course, this is all going to be, I'm sorry, it's all in the orientation. I'm just having an issue with my computer, so I'm unable to put the link for that, but it's all in the orientation. All of the webinars are in there. Okay, you can just search around and find information on Moodle and on plagiarism as well. Once Stephen has done his presentation. Do we have any more? How to check is my assignment copy, paste, or plagiarism? I think that's going to come up in Stephen's presentation.
And I just put in the chat the URL for the person asking how to get there.
Okay. And your instructors can assist you with that too, I assume. They know all about it. And again, the CTL, Center for Teaching and Learning, will assist you. CNC Connect and Moodle app are different. Yes.
Yeah, it's the same login because at CNC we have a single login system, but they are two different applications.
Right. How many assignments are there in one semester? Well, that is a good question, and that will come up in your courses. Your instructors make those decisions. Anything else? We've logged in successfully as, but do not have an account in Moodle. Ooh, our accounts will be activated in September. Is that correct?
Yeah, so they're activated closer to the start of the semester start. So if your courses start September 5th, as most of them do, it'll be that day or maybe the day before that your accounts are in there.
Okay. That does make sense. Do we have any more? Please repeat how to log into Moodle through CNC Connect.
So you're not going to log in through CNC Connect. You're going to log in through the CNC website. So here, let me share my screen again. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay. So I should be able to see my screen now. Oh, there it goes. So when you're on the CNC website, which is cnc.bc.ca, you can hover over the current students and then click on Moodle. And once you're on the Moodle page, you're going to use the login option in the top corner here.
I have a question, Sarah. Could you please send a link to download all yours?
I don't have a link, but if you scroll down on that main page, there's a link on that page that you can use that says to ensure you have the mobile app that's compatible with college learning management system, click here.
Okay. These are really good questions. Want to know if we already paid fee. There's 1 year. So what's the process of paying fee in December? Or is that fee only for 1 semester? Harpreet, that would be, so depending on what course you're in, the $10,000 tuition deposit will cover most of your first 2 semesters. Okay. And you'll be able to tell from your CNC Connect account how much money is left in your account and how much you'll need to pay to cover the cost of the next semester's tuition. Okay, I hope that makes sense. You can always send me an email. I'll just put that in here for any other questions. I probably won't get back to you immediately just because it's just that time of year, but I'll certainly try, okay? Okay, do we have any other questions for Sarah? Anybody? Okay. Harpreet, that's about 2 weeks, 2 weeks in between the 2-week break, say, between the end of this semester and the beginning of the next one. Okay, so I think we'll let Sarah go. Thank you very much, Sarah, for answering all these questions. I know I personally have learned a great deal. Login error. Moodle is showing this. Oh, Sarah,
Yeah.
I think this would be, okay, login error. Somebody's showing, Sukhmanpreet is showing a login error.
Yeah, so that'll be fixed
Later, hey?
closer to the semester start. Within a day or 2 of the first day of classes, your accounts will be in there.
Okay.
Right.
All right. CNC email. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Sarah. And I hope you have a great day. And thank you.
Thank you everyone for your questions and have fun learning about plagiarism.
Yeah. Thanks very much. All right. Hi, Stephen. Oh, you're on mute.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
there.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you are. Now, just gonna make sure I have you as co-host. I'm having a computer issue this morning. I tried to get So if you could, yeah, I guess I'll let you start. I'm not able to put your, well, maybe I am. I don't know. Anyway, if you,
Sure, I'll just start.
okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to CNC. I hope that you're looking forward to your studies coming up. So I'll start my presentation and introduce myself at the same time. Just give me a minute here to share my screen. My screen should be shared.
Perfect.
Okay, so here's a picture of me on the right, helping a student on the left at CNC. So this is what I do at the Academic Success Centre. So I'm an instructor there at the Academic Success Centre, and one of the jobs I do is to tutor. That's to help students like you, like yourselves, with any troubles you're having with your courses. I'm specifically, I help with the English or writing. Anything writing I can help with. I also help with Moodle. So if you're having trouble logging into your Moodle account, you can come and see me, book an appointment, and I can help you navigate that and learn the small things that sometimes get you confused. So my job really is to be there for you to come and see before you get as you get confused, and you can spend a lot of time trying to work things out, and sometimes you just need to come and talk to someone for 5 minutes and they'll help you through. So remember that I'm here, and I'm not the only tutor at CNC. There's a number of us. We have English tutors, math tutors, science tutors, business tutors. So there's a lot of help there. Many students don't realize that we're there, that you've already paid for it in your fees. So make use of us. And how do you make use of us? Well, you simply walk into the office, which is in the walk in the main entrance and turn right, and we're right there on the left. And you can speak to the coordinators and organize an appointment. Or you can email the coordinators. The email's at the bottom here, ASC, that stands for Academic Success Centre at cnc.bc.ca. You would email them and you could say, I'm having trouble with my assignment. I need some help with a tutor. Could I book an appointment, please? And the coordinators will write back and say, sure, we have these appointments available. So definitely come and make use of us. The appointments are a half-hour block, so keep that in mind. And you can have 2 of them per week. We do get busy, so do plan ahead and keep on to this. Okay, with that, I'll continue with what we're going to talk about today, and that's avoiding plagiarism. Plagiarism really is just another fancy word for cheating. What is plagiarism? It's technically when you take somebody else's words or somebody else's ideas and claim them as your own. It's a big deal. It's a big deal in the academic world, and it's a big deal at CNC. If you get caught plagiarizing, you can get a 0 for your assignment. You could get a 0, you could get kicked out of your course. You could get kicked out of the program, or you could get kicked out of CNC. So it's a big deal and it's taken seriously. So let's learn what it is and how to avoid it. And so in this presentation, we'll cover a little bit more about how to avoid it, how to bring in research without plagiarizing. We'll look at the skill of paraphrasing. And finally, I'll give you a few tips on how to write your reference page. But first, let's play a little game. Can anybody spot which one is the fake Mona Lisa? You can write it in the chat if you like.
There is a brooch.
Yeah, good work. Everyone's saying the one on the right. You know your art. How that's the fake. So you're not allowed to paint a picture and say that you've created it. And likewise, you can't copy words and say that they're yours. You have to say who wrote those words. And it's actually one step further. It's not just the words, it's the idea. You have to say where the idea came from. Now, in casual conversation, we might plagiarize all the time. Like, quite often I might say to my wife, it's going to be a hot day today. We should go to the lake. But technically, I should be saying, according to weather.com, it's going to be a hot day today. We should go to the lake. You should always state where you learn the information. So that's what we do when we write academically. We state where we learned the information. So let's have a little look more in depth how we do that and how you can do it quickly and easily. So here's a typical paper that you may be writing for your class. And inside that paper, whether it's a journal, whether it's an essay, whether it's a report, it's going to be a mix of your ideas and ideas of other people. Now, your ideas, you don't need to source, but it's the ideas of other people you need to think about. And there's two ways to bring in ideas of other people. You can quote, that's copy and paste exactly their words, or you can paraphrase. That's when you use your words to bring in, to express their ideas. Quoting is perhaps the easiest, so we'll look at that first. So here's how we quote or copy and paste or copy the exact words. Here's an example. What we do is we make sure our quote, such as here, has is inside quote marks. And then after the quote, we put down the author and the year and the page number that we got that information from. That's called a citation. Let's move on and look at a paraphrase. Paraphrase is a little more complicated because what you're doing is you're taking the exact quote and you rewrite it in your own words. But still, because it's your words, but it's not your idea. So you need to put the author that you found the information from. The author and the year in this case. So here are the two examples once again. Just remember that we always use the citation of where it came from. So when you bring in research from an author, you can do this in two different ways. You can write the you can state the author and name it after the ideas and content, just like what I showed you before. Here's an example. Kangaroos jump a height of 3 meters. And then here, you put the author afterwards. Sorry, did someone have a question? I heard. But there's another way you can do it. You can write the author, that you can name the author before the ideas and the content. As in here, according to Turner, kangaroos can jump a height of 3 meters. So here's two ways that you can cite or that you can state where the information came from. You can put the author in the brackets as in the first one, or you can write the author into the sentences in the second one. But you must do it one of these two ways. And the idea is to mix the two up. Makes your paper look more professional. So we've got according to Turner. You can do it many ways. Turner states, as Turner shows, words like this. Okay, let's move on to your reference page. So at the end of your paper, you state all of the books that you referred to in your paper. So you have a citation in your paper, and it lines up with one of your references at the back. And the reference is the full expanded information about the book that you read. And you can see a list here, and here's some examples. So the first one, Barfield, that's his author's final name, and then comma A, that's his first name, the year 2000, the full title of the book, where the journal name that came from, the volume, the page numbers. So when I go to that reference, I can look at that and I can tell it's from a journal. But these are all written slightly differently. If it's from a journal, maybe it's from a newspaper, it's written differently. If it's from a website, it's written differently. So depending on where you get your sources, get your information, it's written slightly differently. To make sure you get this right, you can go to the library or you can come and see me, and I can double check it to make sure it's right. There are handouts in the library to help out as well. When you walk in the door, on the shelf on the right, you can see. Maybe you need to use the APA system. Maybe you need to use the MLA system. So whatever system you're using, you need to make sure that your references are written correctly. Okay. So let's move back to paraphrasing, and I'll give you some examples of how you can do that. So here's a typical paraphrase. So let's look at another one. Here's something you might find in a book. Kangaroos can reach a height of 3 meters, 9 foot 10, resulting in a sight like no other. So this is the actual quote from the book. If I'm writing my paper, I could bring in that information and change it a little bit in a paraphrase. I could write, according to Turner, 2020, kangaroos can jump to a remarkable height of 3 meters. I could write it this way. This is a different way to write it. One of the most remarkable feats of nature is a 3-meter vertical jump of the kangaroo. And then I put the author in brackets. Turner, 2020, page 3. Or I could write it this way. Turner's 2020 study measured the maximum vertical distance of the kangaroo bound to be 9 foot 10 inches. Or I could write it this way. Kangaroos can jump a height of up to 3 meters. Here's a final way. If a kangaroo could enter the Olympics, it would outjump the record holder by over 0.5 meter. So this final one perhaps is a little bit too much poetic license. I wouldn't put too much information in like that. So I would ignore that one. But the other ones are good ways to examples of how you can paraphrase. And paraphrasing is a skill. It's not easy at first. It's something you improve on with practice. But definitely try it and definitely do it as often as you can, because what you're doing is you're showing your instructor that you understand the information. That's why they like to see a paraphrase. And when they do, that's what they're looking for. And that's what gets your grades up higher. So that's a quick summary of plagiarism or cheating. So do remember that I am here and that we are here at the Academic Success Centre to guide you through any points and to help you avoid plagiarism and help that, especially if you do it accidentally, right? You don't want to do things accidentally and then end up with a 0 on your assignment. And with that, are there any questions that I can answer?
Thank you for that, Stephen. I don't know if you can see the chat, but somebody's wondering if paraphrasing is acceptable. I would say, oh, yes.
Yes. Paraphrasing is not only acceptable, but it's preferred.
Yes.
Paraphrase as much as you can, but do it correctly.
Sanjana asks, hi, sir, if the information or content we use in our assignments is not from books, can we put website name? For example, we can write Google if we got that content from Google and write the person's name.
Yes, you can. So, well, not specifically Google, because Google is a search engine, but where you find that information in Google. So say if you found it was let's say an example of the NewYorkTimes.com, you would put NewYorkTimes.com. Unless inside that article there was an actual author, then you would put the author's name.